Hello everyone, it is me, Mary, and I am here today with an amazing video for you. Yes, it's going to be great. Okay, so last week I did a video and it was a Monday announcement. I typically do Monday announcement videos. This week I haven't done that just because I have not been feeling well and have not been on YouTube regularly this week. So trying to get back in the swing of things, and I am going to continue with some of the videos I didn't get to do last week. And one of the videos, or a series of videos, was going to be 5 questions that I was going to answer to subscribers. So essentially what happened was I asked in that video for people to present questions to me, and then I would do videos to answer those questions, and I would only pick 5 for the week. I'm going to be doing this every week, so on my Monday announcements, if you ever have any particular questions, leave them for me, and I'll make sure that I do my best to pick, people at random. So one of the actual questions that was asked was, and it's a very good question in my opinion, how do you know how much you need? How many items do you need to have in your stock? And I think this is really going to depend upon the individual, okay? But there is a method to the madness, and it's using mathematics, and very basic mathematics actually. So let's get into that. So how much do you need in your stock? What is it that you need? I keep 3 years, unless it's perishable items, and then I obviously, I did a video this week as well talking about expiration dates and stockpiling. I'll include that. The other video that I did, I believe last week, was why I'm an extreme couponer, and I'll include that, and that kind of explains as to why I keep such a large stock of 3 years. I would say a minimum requirement or a minimum recommendation for me to use is going to be 3 months, and that's based upon sales cycles and being able to not have to pay for something at full price, okay? And then that way you have the sales come back around, so you can get those items again at a highly reduced or free price. So, how do we know how much we need for 3 months? How do we know how much I need for 3 years? Well, we look at it and we do the math. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a few items that I use and how I do the math to be able to see what it is that I need to have in my stock at all times. Now I'm going to provide you with some 3-year examples, and I'm going to provide you with about a 1.5 year example on something that does have an expiration date. So let's go ahead and look at a few of these items really quick. And the first thing I'm going to discuss is hair care, okay? So as we have here, I have some conditioner, styler items, shampoo, conditioner. So how do I know what I need? Okay, so it's going to be different for me, for my family, for you, for your family. So you really need to look at it from a average basis, okay? So I know this is shampoo here. So I know for me, and the regular size shampoos, not the huge ones, but the regular size shampoos, I know that I need to have 1 to 2 bottles per week. I use 1 to 2 bottles of shampoo per week. My family does, rather. So if we look at that, how many weeks are in a year? So we know there's 52 weeks in a year. If we do a very basic 2 times 52, I know that I need 104 bottles of shampoo per year to keep in my stock. Now, if I'm going to do 3 years, because that's what I'm going to do, then I need 312 bottles of shampoo. So if you're doing for 3 months, you need to look at the months that you have if you want to get really, really down pat. So if you know that you have 3 months, 1 month has this many weeks, the next month has this many weeks, and so forth, go ahead and do your math that you need. Let's say you need 1 bottle per week, and then you have how many weeks per that particular time rate, and then you just do the math, and then you'll know exactly what you need and what you should feel comfortable buying. Now, I always say if it's free, even if you've exceeded the amount that you need, you have 2 options. You can go ahead and start to build past the 3 months, which I would recommend doing that, or you can just donate. Okay, guys? So that's basically what I do. I get the 3 years, I keep a very close inventory on what I have, and then I donate the remainder. So, do I need the same amount of shampoo as conditioner? No, I don't, because I don't use as much. So, let's look at this from the conditioner standpoint. I use 1.5 bottles every 2 weeks of conditioner. I don't use as much conditioner as I do shampoo. My family doesn't. So, if I know that I use 1.5 bottles times 52, I know that I'm going to need about 78 bottles per year. So if I do the math times 3 for 3 years, I know that I'm going to need about 234 bottles of conditioner for my 3-year stock. Now that's 312 bottles of shampoo and 234 of conditioner. It's a very odd numbers, guys, but I do the math accordingly. So if we have deals where it's buy 2 for $8 and this, that, and the third, I'll buy 2 shampoos if I know that I need shampoo, as opposed to getting a shampoo and conditioner to keep my numbers right. Okay, guys? So that's how I handle that. So if you only use 1 conditioner a month and you have 3 months, you need 3 bottles of conditioner. If you use 2 per month, and then, so that's how you would work that out. Okay, guys? So as we see, that's pretty much the math on that. So let's go down to something a little bit smaller. I use one of these every 2 weeks. Now I use different stylers, okay, guys? So, but for this particular product, I keep this on hand at all times. And I don't keep the Triple Nutrition Curl. However, I got this absolutely free, and I had a little bit of overage when it was on clearance. So this is a new one for me, but the green bottles, you better bet I keep those on hand. So I know that I use one of these every 2 weeks. These are after shower conditioning. So I use one every 2 weeks. So that's going to be about 26 per year that I'm going to need, or 78 for 3 years. So that's what I would keep on stock. That's what you're going to find in my stockpile. Let's look at something that is not for 3 years. It's for 1.5 years, and that is toothpaste. Why do I say it's 1.5 years? Well, for me, I know the normal shelf life of toothpaste. Let's say about 1 year, maybe 2 years, depending upon the brand, but typically about 1 year or so. So I'm going to gauge my toothpaste out at about 1.5 years, okay? Now, I do the first in, first out. So basically what's going to happen is, first in, first out, what am I talking about? Am I doing that wrong? Let's just, if I said it wrong, I said it wrong. And I know I'm going to get comments below, but that's okay. Anyways, what I said in my expiration date video, I'm going to link that below, is that what's going to happen is the newer products I'm going to put to the back, and the older products I'm going to rotate to the front of my stock to make sure that I'm keeping everything as fresh as possible. So with these right here, I use 3 tubes of toothpaste per month. That's what my family uses. So if we do the math, it's going to be about 36 packs of toothpaste that I'm going to need, or tubes of toothpaste I'm going to need per year. And I do 1.5 years because of expiration dates. That's how I feel comfortable. So I keep 54 tubes of toothpaste. We get so much toothpaste. I mean, like last week at Rite Aid, I probably got 50, 60 things of toothpaste last week. And of course, I don't need that much toothpaste. So what happens? They're just donated. So this is always an easy donation item, as well as mouthwashes are always very easy to donate. So I'm not discouraging you not to get the extra items, because I do. I get them all the time. And I just give them away. So now something that I would like to mention, though, because if you've seen Extreme Couponers, that show, I think it's Extreme Couponing, Extreme Couponers, I believe that there's a little bit of a negative light of couponers from that show at times, and it's the whole hoarder mentality. And, I don't have a problem with, you do what you want to do. You want to hoard all day, but I do think there should be a little bit of a method to the madness, and this is my personal opinion, okay? So I've seen a show one time, it had 4,000 boxes of toothpaste. And I think about it, now let's just put expiration aside. Let's say we don't care about expiration, okay, guys? And you don't mind using things that are expired by 10 years or whatever it is. That's perfectly fine if that's how you feel comfortable. But let's go ahead and look at this from a different perspective. If you have 4,000 tubes of toothpaste and you have 3 people in your household, your toothpaste is probably going to, pass your life expectancy, right? Is it? I don't know. So I definitely say that if you're keeping more items than you're probably going to use for your entire life, you should probably consider maybe sharing the wealth and helping people out who can't afford it on their own. So do what you want, but I keep 54 on hand at all times, and then I do obviously rotate them. So something else I want to get into is going to be fabric softener. Now, this is going to depend per person. It also depends per amount. Okay, guys? So this one right here is a 34 count. So I typically do my mathematics based upon the 34 sheet. Now, I know sometimes I get the higher amount, but it's typically the 34 count that I do receive. So I do the math based on this. So I wash clothes about 3 loads per week, sometimes a little bit higher, but I'm going to just, for the purpose of this video, go with, and I always keep 10 more than I need, but let's go with 3 loads per week. I use 4 sheets per load. Smells real good. So that's going to be about 19 boxes per year, or 624 sheets. At 34 sheets each, I'm going to need 19 boxes per year. So if I'm looking at this from a perspective of 3 years, I need about 57 boxes. However, I always keep about 10 in excess because these are not always the easiest things to get, okay guys? So for me, I know I need about 624 sheets per year. I plan on that per year. If you're going to do it for 3 months, then you can do the math accordingly based upon your need and your usage. But that's how I do that. Something else that's very hard to get at times, couponing, is going to be toilet paper. These right here, see how this is the double rolls, 24, basically 24 rolls if you look at the double count here. I use one of these a week. Our family uses one pack of toilet paper per week. So if we know that we need one per week, that's going to be 52 that I'm going to need in a year. So if I'm looking at 52 times 3, I'm looking at about 156 packs of toilet paper per 3 years. That's what I'm going to need. Now this is the 12 count, or 24 double roll, whatever, 12 double roll. So the math could change, especially considering the fact that I have some other Charmin that are a lot larger, that I have some Scott toilet paper, so it really changes dependent upon the actual item. Me, I'm comfortable with keeping 156 of whatever kind of toilet paper on hand. Now, toilet paper, I'm just going to be honest with you. If I can get 200 rolls of packs of toilet paper, I'm going to have 200 packs of toilet paper, because we're not always guaranteed that we're going to get all of those deals. Now, I have right now about 125 packs of toilet paper, so I'm not fully stocked, guys. I need to get more stocked or get more items, and I'll do that. But, the essence or the reason of extreme couponing is I don't have to stress about it right now. You're not going to see me paying $7-8 for some toilet paper, because I at least have a certain amount of time to where I don't have to worry or stress out. Say that, a person lost their job and they can afford to coupon for a while. Well, I don't have to worry about it. I'll have the items. Or say that I'm hospitalized and I'm not able to get to do the deals. I don't have to worry about it because I've got it here for me, guys. So that's the way that I work it out. I hope that this video did answer that question on how many items you need to keep in your stockpile. It is very dependent upon your need and your use. There's items that some people use that I never use, so you need to look at it from that perspective. There's some people who, I know there's some people who wash their hair twice a week. They may have a lot less shampoo needed than I do. I do mine once, and I know I got commentary about this last time, but I wash my hair once a day, but I do very... I don't, heat my hair or do any damage to my hair other than that, so I'm very comfortable with the way that I do my hair. But everybody has different needs, so you need to do the math based upon your needs, but I really hope that these types of equations can help you. And very simply, once again, if I need one per week, that's going to be 52 in a year. If I need 3 per month, that's going to be 36 in a year. If I need, what is this, conditioner? If I need 1.5 every 2 weeks, 78. So you just do the math by the actual weeks in the year, or how many weeks are in the year. Or by month. If you just need 1 a month, then you need 12. So that's how it's going to work out. So I hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. Thank you, guys. Bye.